I wonder if you would talk a little bit about the difference between genetic temperament and temperament that's arrived at through socialization.
Genetic temperament lasts, whereas if you're handle rats that are not real good, you leave for 3 weeks on a vacation and come back and you might get bit, you know.
So socializing an animal doesn't necessarily have a lasting effect on their temperament.
It doesn't necessarily. To a certain degree, you don't have to handle things too much at all. And in fact, it almost seems to be better not to, because then they get attached to you, and that can be a bit of a problem. You want them to like people, not a specific person. So actually, I just let them know what a person is, and kind of judge their personality, and don't excessively handle them until they go out to other people.
Let's talk a little bit about your process of evaluating young rats.
Well, the first evaluation, I pick them up and change their cages, but I don't handle them excessively when their eyes are closed. As soon as their eyes open, well, I pick them up and see what their first behavior is like. And I happen to have some upside down in the hand is how I start. And this is how I expect them to act. Just kind of bobbing their head around, looking around. You take them by the nape of the neck. And they just kind of hang there. Don't get too excited. And when you look at their mouth, there's no teeth showing. Never want teeth to show. Any teeth showing is a threat. And that means they're a little bit, notice the toe, and the toes are often folded up. Now, he's kind of a normal. This one is his brother, and he's one that I would not sell. When they reach around and try to kick you off, that's not good. And now some of these will be okay later. Now he's behaving a little better now. He's probably on the okay side of, not quite passing. And he's kind of folding up his feet now. Now this morning he was doing a little squeaking because he didn't like this. And squeaking is a no-no too. Now really coming to the top, right in front of the cage to check you out. Now they're all doing that. Like I said, I don't have any that were really at the bottom end of the spectrum, are the ones that hang in the back of the cage. You want them to come up and play with your hand. And now, where are you, fella? Did I forget you? Where are you? Now this is what we call, a friend of mine named this. This is a fuff. Fold up feet.
Fold up feet.
We used to call these rubber rats. That's the epitome of the opposite end of the spectrum from the ones that go flying off and kicking you off and squeaking and baring their teeth. But yeah, you're a little fuffy, aren't you?
And you can see these traits very early on.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Have you found through your years of selection that these traits become more consistent through the line?
Yes. Yes, but then I have this tendency to do some crossing and try
to add things in every now and then.
Yes, and then you have to wait until the new thing has a nice personality, and that can take a while. My first Manx, it took me 2 or 3 years before I got a male, Manx male, that was nice. And sometimes you have to put up with ones that are not so nice to keep a gene you want to keep, and then just keep breeding them back to your nicest one that you have. This is my mystery one because she's a wiggle butt and reaches around, But I think that's all I think she's just a wiggle butt, because you'll get ones that are so active, and many of these black females are really, really active, and they just won't sit still. She does not have the teeth showing. She's pushing against you. I want to go, I want to go. And so you end up thinking, well, what do I do with her? And sitting on the hand, they need to sit on the hand. If they jump off the hand, why, that's bad.
So there is some consideration, even if the animal isn't perfectly calm, as long as they're not overtly aggressive.
Right, well, there's a whole spectrum. Like I said, the really bad ones show up fast. They're so bad that if you let go of them, they probably fly off in the room and you never see them. But so I think I probably will keep her. Well, I know I will keep her, but she's calming down every week that goes by. Now this is a fully adult female, and she's not, she's not completely folded up, and they're not. We fold her up, but she doesn't reach around and kick you off, and she's not threatening you, And she's a wiggle female, but so she's fine for a pet or a breeder, and if she's taken as a pet, she will get to be a licker, in all probability.
Do you consider licking in rats to be a sign of affection?
It's certainly a sign of affect. I don't know who defines affection in these, but it sure seems like it. It sure seems like it. Yeah, this is a medium one. See, he's kind of folded up his feet, wiggles a bit, mouth closed, head bobbing. He's a good little guy.
When we talked about your evaluation once before, you described another technique where you will set the rat in a room and see if it returns to you.
Yeah, I haven't done that for a long time. That's when we had an empty house, and it was a different set of rats. The personalities did change a bit.
Yes,
One more thing. Did I tell you about this?
Yes.
If they're uncomfortable, they don't eat. Period. They do not eat. A rat that's upset, a rat that's scared, a rat that wants to run from you and bite you will not eat from you. Have you seen me do this?
Yes, you showed me.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'd completely forgotten that. Okay. Let's see if you will take it. There's nobody here that's really too bad. No, he'll take it. Taking it.
So this is a little bit of syrup on a toothpick.
Yeah. And here's old Mama. Or young, not Mama. Hey, yummy, yummy.
And so the idea
Nobody's going to refuse it today because there's nobody bad enough to. There you go. And you run it up over the teeth. You stick it in from the side, none of them like that. Here's little Fuffy. Hi, Fuffy.
Let's see how he does. So we've got the syrup on a toothpick.
Lick, 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 and often they'll grab the toothpick and they're completely calm about it. She says, "Okay, let's see about you. You're our little wiggle butt." She says, "Of course I'm going to take it. I'm just a wiggler." Well, she's a wiggler, isn't she?
So if a rat is not comfortable, it won't eat.
If it's scared or apprehensive or just downright aggressive, it will not eat. That certainly has been my experience. It doesn't eat until it is comfortable. First thing that's probably a leftover from being wild rats. First you get safe, then you eat. And that appears to be well ingrained. And in fact, some of them will, you try to get the toothpick in their mouth and they'll just go berserk,
Push it
just,
away.
yeah, not just push it away, but flip their whole body, just, and practically flip out of your hands. So it's very dramatic, but I don't have anybody that's that bad with me today. You guys are all pretty good. The worst one here is you. But even he's relaxed enough to take it.